Hey, everybody, peace and blessings to you. I pray you all are doing well on today. Yeah, you guys are wondering why do I have my graduation? Not mine, but my youngest daughter. She graduated in 2020. I want to tell you a little story about why I have this on. It is going to all tie into what I'm doing here in the kitchen today. I am doing an a old school classic for a customer of mine who wants to have a coconut cake. And the reason, why I have this graduation cap on is because, this customer needs to graduate from this old school classic. Okay. So I pray you guys are doing well. Before I get started, I pray you all are getting ready to enter into a weekend. Some of us may be tired and want to just sleep in. Some of us, got plans to go out and have a good time. Some of us just want to hang out and just do whatever comes to mind. For me, myself, it's my time of rest. I'm going to get me some rest over the weekend. And that's about it. So I'm going to jump right into why I'm here on today. I wanted to bring you in because this is an order, that somebody wants a coconut cake. Okay. So um, I'm going to bring you down here. I'm going to bring you down here to where everything is at on my counter. And I'm just going to talk to you. As I am doing my cake. I actually made the cake yesterday. I want to tell you guys a little secret. If you don't know this already, or at least this is what I found when I make cakes. I like to make my cakes like, if I can, at least at the latest the night before, wrap them up in saran wrap. The cakes, not the cake with the icing on it, but just the cakes. Once they're made, I wrap them in saran wrap and then put some aluminum foil around them, and then I place them in the freezer. So when the next day I want them frozen, this is the whole thing. I want my cake frozen, and the next day when I get ready to, ice the cake and decorate it, what I'm going to do with it, the cake I'll sit out, a couple hours before in the refrigerator and let them slowly thaw out, because that moisture, when the cake that is frozen begins to thaw out, it adds moisture to the cake. So it actually makes the cake uh, moist. And that's what I kind of like to do. I don't know if anybody else do that, but that's what I like to do with my cakes. I see some people add, sugared water. They'll put equal parts water, equal parts sugar, and then they'll go around the cake. And to me, that's just adding more sugar, more sugar to your cake. So I just like to do it a nice way, to put it in the refrigerator, in the freezer, let it freeze, and then thaw out, and it brings moisture to the cake. So I'm going to bring you guys down here. I'm the cameraman or woman here. I don't have a crew. So just work with me. If I'm taking too long to do something, just bear with me. Just bear with me. I'm going down. I'm going down here. Okay. Here we go. So this is the old school classic right here. How many remember? I've been baking since I was a teenager. And when I say baking, I just mean baking. I started off with this. Who knows about this? Betty Crocker. Or what's the other one? Duncan Hines. I always liked Betty Crocker because to me this was my favorite. I always thought it was a little bit moist. But yeah, I'm doing an old school classic because the person that I'm making the cake for just would not graduate to the new and improved the scratch coconut cake that I've been making for years, and they just don't want to leave this one alone. I make my own frosting, y'all, but I'm going to be using the canned. And I don't know, since the pandemic started in 2020, I have not been able to find this is about the only cake I make that's a box cake. I make one other cake, which is sometimes I'll use that for this other recipe I'll use for a celebration cake, like a birthday cake or wedding, something like that. A birthday cake, a baby shower gift, whatever, cake or whatever that is that the celebration is for. And I'll sometimes use a box cake, which is a white almond cake, and I'll doctor up that white cake mix, and I'll do what I do to it to make it taste more like a bakery cake. But that's between that one and the one I just described. All my other cakes are scratch. scratch. Okay, I'm a self-taught baker. I've been baking for about 7 years, and I've taught myself. I've always had the love of baking. I baked for many, many years. In fact, I was baking as a teenager. I grew up with my grandmother, and let me tell you. All right, let me just bring you guys back up here because I thought I was going to get started on the cake. But I'm still talking. Okay, my grandmother, I used to make this, not per se this cake, I think it was Duncan Hines is what she used to use. Her neighbors, when I was younger, my grandmother raised me since I was about 2 years old. And my grandmother used to bring me in the kitchen with her, to help, cut up collard greens, potatoes for potato salad, and, you know, uh, uh, peel sweet potatoes and all, and make double eggs, all this kind of stuff. 'Cause my grandmother was a wonderful cook, and she cooked a lot. She was a wonderful, wonderful cook. She grew up in the South, and she just, she was Southern, and even though she was city, but she had that Southern background for cooking. But my grandmother used to get orders for cakes in the neighborhood, and my grandmother would have me making those cakes. People in the neighborhood thought it was my grandmother making the cake. And I thought about this about maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I said, hey, you know what? People was paying my grandmother for the cake, whatever cake she wanted, I mean, they wanted. My grandmother would give me that order, for that person. And all along, they thought she was making the cake. My grandmother ain't never gave me a dime for. Okay, I can't ask for nothing for my grandmother, but I said, my grandmother never gave me a dime for one of those cakes. Because I made the cake. I decorated it real pretty, and I was always the one that making the cake. But see, it really didn't matter to me. I didn't think like that back then because I just enjoyed cooking. I didn't care. But when I got older, I said, you know what? She never gave me a dime for that cake. But anyway, I'm gonna move on. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she died in 2020, and I'm sorry, 2012. But I thought about that. And I was like, okay, all right, gotta let the past go. All right, so anyway, this person won't graduate from this recipe, and I just want to share. I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna start getting my cake together. All right. I'm going to tell you guys about why graduating certain things in your life is very, very, very important. And I just want to show you guys what I've done first. I prepared my cake, all right? And I always put my frostings. In the refrigerator at least the night before so they can get a little stiff. And because, oftentimes, these canned frostings are soft. So I put them in the refrigerator, let them get nice and stiff. And I work with it that way. And again, I don't usually use this. I usually use the classic white, but I couldn't find it in the store. And the last other times when the cake was requested, I just could not find the classic. So I'm going to be using this instead. Now, let me tell you what I did about some things where I graduated from. All right, what I'm doing, if you can see, I'm just unwrapping. I got a little small area that I'm working with here. I'm hoping to get some upgrades to my kitchen done soon. I wish I can get it done tomorrow, but I'm trying to push it back a little bit because I'm just really tired and I don't really feel like trying to get that done at the time because I'm just really, really tired and I need a break from a lot of commotion. So this is I washed my hands, guys. Before I started, I washed my hands. And this is my cake, the box cake that I made the night before. Now, let me tell you, since I've been baking cakes, I graduated to leveling off my cakes to get a nice, even layer cake for each layer of cake that I use. I'm not going to do this because this old school right here. But I would use a leveler to level off the dome top part of the cake. I would just go across it and peel off that, and we have a nice layer cake. But since this old school, this is what I'm doing. I'm leaving the dome on. I'm leaving everything because the person old school, okay? They just won't graduate to the new improved coconut cake that I created and I truly love. So what I'm going to do from here is that I'm just actually opening up the other layer so I can be ready to put it on once I get the frosting in the middle. Okay. I see it. I see it. Well, come in here, okay? I'll be done in a few minutes, okay? That was my daughter trying to make a guest appearance, which would have been okay, but I'm trying to stay focused. So I'm just unwrapping this other layer so I can have it ready when I ice the middle of this cake. All right, so here we go. Now, what I do, I like my icing cold, as I said, because a lot of times these are really, really soft. And I just give it a stir. See how stiff that is? It's usually not that stiff, but as I work with it, it's going to start to soften. And this is how I like it, so I can manage it better. And that the cake won't squish down the icing in the middle of the cake. So I'm putting this on for my old schooler, okay? See, I done graduated to a, look at this. I done graduated. My hand would be the one, I would be turning the cake around like this, doing what I need to do. But I done graduated. Look, I graduated to something better because it's easier, it's better, and it gets the job done a whole lot quicker. So I'm icing the middle. All right, guys, I'm trying not to talk while I need to talk because I need to tell you guys why graduating from one level, if you don't know, a lot of y'all may know, some of you guys may not know, but graduating from another level to something greater is a wonderful thing. When we don't graduate, when we continue to stay at certain places in our life where we are comfortable, where we are just, just enjoying things because, we got everything settled, you know where everything is at, you know how to do everything, you know how to get it done, you know how to, whiz right through it. And a lot of times, we are not always called to stay at a certain level, at a certain place. There are times when we are being called to graduate unto better things. What I'm going to do here, let me put my gloves on. We are called to go higher. We are called to, higher places, newer things, different things in our life. We are just called to do other things instead of just staying where we at all the time, to experience and to explore and to grow and to elevate. And a lot of times we get stagnant, we get comfortable, we got our comfy slippers on, we got our fuzzy slippers on, we got our hair down, and everything is hunky-dory. When something new comes along, this is where we oftentimes, battle with ourselves. We battle with ourselves because a lot of times another level, another change, another place that will benefit us is oftentimes scary. Sometimes, due to laziness, here's the other part. This is old school. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to leave off from where I'm talking. This old school. See, I would have leveled this off so that my cake would be even, more even. This is okay. There's nothing wrong with the cake right now. But when it's level, it just goes on boom, boom, boom. You don't have to worry about trying to see if there's a short end, a low end on one side or another. But this old school right here, okay? A lot of times we can become lazy, oftentimes, fear and, doubt comes um, with change. And along with change, we are supposed to be moving up into something greater, as I said before. And when we move up to something greater, when we begin to realize that we are called to do something different, that we are supposed to be at another place, another level in our life, and once we get over the fear of that all, this is where graduation comes in. This is where we graduate because we have put in the effort, we have put in the time, we have gotten over the fear, we have started to explore and do the work that is called okay, let's use, we all been through school, we all went through kindergarten, preschool, middle school, senior school. Some of us is going to college. Some of us has done other things, and some of us has done other things outside of we trade schools, and going maybe to the military or doing this and doing that. We have went from the bottom of kindergarten, and we at least rose up to the 12th grade level. And that's what that required. That required change. And between each level, kindergarten, elementary school, we had to graduate. We had to graduate from from elementary school to middle school. From middle school to high school. Uh-uh. From high school to whatever else we desired to do after we left high school. But in between those stages, we all had to graduate, and we all got our diplomas. Why did we get our diplomas? Because we finished. We finished what was required to do on those other levels, and we got our diplomas, and we were given our diplomas, and then we graduated. So I'm saying all of this because when I started to make this cake, I said, the person never even tried. I offered try. I said, can you try can you try the newer, level? I said, my cakes are scratch now and they taste so much better. No, see, this is not, see, again, we don't want to try nothing. Sometimes we don't want to try new things. We don't know. This person didn't even want to try or even taste. They're new because they love this cake just that much. They said, no, I'm fine. And sometimes we are fine. We talking about a cake. Everybody likes what they like. It's not about the cake. It's about the principle. It's about trying different things and not just keeping ourselves at a certain place in our lives when, everything else is moving forward besides you, besides me. We are just stuck in this place and we won't try now. I can't say for myself that, I can say for myself, there are certain things
that I have a hard time trying. And that is, if as I said before, I am, I have a fear of heights, but see, even with that, I do try. I just don't avoid um, trying to get over that fear. I always still kind of work with it little by little by little by little. Last week, I had to take my daughter to her, a couple weeks ago, I had to take my daughter to her primary doctor's office. Now, my daughter has a rare metabolism disorder, and when I was carrying her, um, nobody knew that she was, we didn't all know. We didn't know that, this was going on the inside of her. Inside of me with this particular rare metabolism diagnosis, her body cannot metabolize carbohydrates, and it interacted on her brain, and now she has intellectual disabilities. She's really smart in her own right. She's nonverbal, but she have these disabilities that came along with that. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I still have to take her to Children's Hospital because the this metabolism disorder, there's not a lot of doctors around for it. And so she's 24, my daughter's 24, and she still has to go to Children's Hospital for her metabolism disorder. Now, we get to the hospital, it's a really big hospital. Children's Hospital is huge, 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 huge. And let me tell you, they did some work since last year because the doctor's office used to be on the 9th floor. Now it's on the 12th floor. And I'm like, oh my gosh. What in the world? I get on the elevator thinking I'm going to the same place. They told me, when I registered in that it was on the 12th floor. And I said, they're mistaken. They don't know what they're talking about. Because that's, I was cool. I can get up there because I was used to going on the 9th floor. But they have elevators now, and they had them before. But now the straight ride up, since last year, they changed the elevator that they're working on. They're doing a lot of work in that hospital. And now they got glass elevators, and you just see everything going all the way up to the 12th floor. And I could not believe that they would have glass all the way up like that, because there are people who are scared and frightened of heights. And I get on the elevator. I said, okay, look, I'm trying not to punk out. Okay, I'm going to try and make it up there. But I got up. The elevator stopped actually stopped on the 9th floor. Somebody was getting off. And so once the doors opened, I had my back to the window. I had my eyes closed. I had my daughter in front of me. And I was still shaking like a leaf because I knew I was going up past the 9th floor. But I opened my eyes up a little bit, and I saw on the elevator, in the front elevator door, that there was light. The light, the elevator door, which was, silver, it was, the light from the window was cascading on. I said, oh, and I started shaking, and I said, oh, we got to go up like 3 more floors. I'm nervous. I know we're up in the air, and I got off the elevator so fast. I said, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot do it. But I tried to do it, but I just couldn't. I wish I had kept my eyes closed. But to make a long story short, I get off, and I explained to the people that was on that floor. I said, look, can you find me an elevator? Is there a way for me to get up to the 12th floor without having to get onto this elevator? And they said, sure, we could take you around here. And I said, I am so, I'm trying to get over the fear of heights, and I try to stick with it. And you know what they told me? They said, you know what? We have to rescue so many people off this elevator. We have to rescue so many, especially moms. They cannot. The kids are fine, but the moms cannot. The moms can't deal with it. And she said, don't feel bad, because she said, we have to rescue a lot of people, get them off the elevator. And I said, why would they make elevators like that? They should at least have, part of it closed off. So if you're afraid of heights, you'll get over to the other side and you'll be all right. Okay, guys, I'm talking. So we get off, and the reason again why I was at that hospital was because, my daughter doctor is still there, and that's the only doctor she could see at Children's Hospital. So I do try. I do try to go up like bridges and stuff. I'm okay with going across the bridge around the corner when me and my daughter go out for a walk. Okay, guys, I don't have to worry about making the cake pretty because I'm going to be I still try to do a little design on the cake because I'm going to put coconut on top. But I do try. I don't never give up because I want to get over the fear of heights, and I have to graduate. I have to eventually graduate, and I'm just determined to graduate from the fear of heights. And it's still an effort on my part, but I do try. The same, what I'm trying to explain here is that we have to graduate from this. We have to graduate from this stuff because there are better things out here. There are better things, and God just wants us to try. Sometimes we can't go up to the next level because we're stuck down here at the super moist French vanilla level when there's a scratch coconut cake, up there, and people just don't want to graduate from what they're used to. They don't want to graduate from what they're used to. This is the part that I absolutely don't like because trying to get this coconut onto the sides really drives me up the wall. But I do it, I do it the best way I can. It's time to graduate, y'all. This is all I'm saying. Time to graduate. It's time to rise up and to try new things. At least try it. At least understand that there's something better because a lot of times we will not get out of that comfortable position. We will not graduate, from doing certain things in our lives, and we know we need to move on, but we just will not move. We will not budge. We will not budge. We will not budge. So this is why I have the cap on. And this is what I just said, you know what, I'm just going to get on here because this was on my spirit. And I said, let me just convey to somebody out there who is struggling right now, who's trying to rise up and go to the next level. Just try it. Just try it. Just try it. Because once we try it, what is that old thing? It was a saying back in the day. Try it. I can't think what it is, but there was just a saying about just try it. Just go up. Just go on and try it because that's where we need to be sometimes. We need to be up where we're supposed to be at. We're smarter. We're greater. God has destined us to do something different than what we're doing. But if we just continue to just be lazy and not go and do the extra work, make the extra effort, we're going to remain at that same level. And then down the pike somewhere, we're going to be like, I wish I would have did that. I wish I would have did that. Now the opportunity done passed. It done passed. It's never too late to graduate. It's never too late to graduate. There are people who go to school, who go to night school. There's people who get their degrees and stuff later in life. And we always have time to graduate. But sometimes we got to be encouraged. We got to be pushed. And sometimes God will put us in places where we are actually and literally being pushed past our level of being comfortable because God is trying to get us out of that recliner, trying to get us out of that comfy position because he'll invite circumstances in our life to cause us to move. You don't want God to cause you to have to move because when God stick it to you, he's going to stick it to you. Been there, done it. Been there, done it. That's when I didn't know any better. I know better now. And I pray about it. And I ask God to help me. Is this what you're trying to get me to do? Is this where the next level you're trying to get me to rise up on? Help me. Sometimes we got to call on God to help us to get up out of this position to get up out of this laziness. Help us to do those things that you're calling me to do, because we're destined to be somewhere and to do some other things. But if you just stop it. Just stop it with the excuses. Just stop it with, I'm just not ready, or you know, uh, just let me think about it, or hey, look, take your time if you want. Take your time if you want. Hey, booby. Okay, I'm gonna change the TV. All right, my daughter want me to change the TV. I'm coming. I'm almost done. All right. Keep taking your time if you want to, is what I'm trying to say. And sometimes opportunities do not come back around again. And this is my message. This is my message. It's time to graduate. Some of us, it's time to graduate. It's time to graduate. It's time to graduate. All right, guys. I'm finished here. Uh-oh. And I'm spilling the coconut all over the floor. Okay. I hope you guys are catching that. I don't know if there's some areas that I missed. I'll get those areas. I see a couple of areas where I need to get some coconut on, but that's all right. That's it right here. And I wish I would have laid my parchment paper on to catch this coconut here, so I can use it again. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I get my boxes from Wilton. I don't know if y'all can see that, but this camera is, this thing is, okay, what am I trying to say? This camera, my cell phone, I don't know how to put the writing where you can see it from it in the right way. All right, so this is my box here. I'm going to touch it up a little bit more, but I just want to show you how I do my cakes. All right. I have my cards. I have cards from my gift basket, and I have cards from my baking as well. And this is it. This is it, guys. All right. So this has been a little bit longer than what I anticipated. But guys, for real, it's time for some of us to graduate and get that diploma, move forward, come out of that place of of being comfortable. Comfortable is a bad place for us when we're trying to move up, when we're trying to move forward, when we're trying to do things. And being in a comfortable position is really, it's not a bad thing, because we all got to get rest. We all got to, take our time. God will give us rest, and then, some things will begin to shift, and we're called to go forward and to do something else. And along with that, it brings us to a place of completing the course, and moving forward, and then coming into a place of graduation. So I'm going to end here. This is it. I'm sorry, my daughter. Uh-oh. I never get through a video without knocking something over. It seems like I'm always knocking something over. My daughter's over here. She's waiting on me to change the TV.
And you guys have a blessed weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Have a little conversation with God if you're stuck right now and you need to graduate. Okay, just God will help you along the way. He will help you out, and just just begin to seek Him out. In your place of where He is preparing you, and where He is speaking to you, and where He is sometimes driving us. Sometimes we don't even know that God is driving us to another place. So He'll allow things to sometimes be shaken up in our lives and begin to move things around and shift some things around. And we don't understand what's going on, and it's God actually saying, I'm doing some things here. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I'm coming, boo. Here, take this, take that. Um, and we wonder what all the hype is about. And it's God. Sometimes. It's not all the time, because a lot of times we be doing stuff too. But this is what we have to begin to seek God out about, about where we are and why things are happening. And you're supposed to be doing something different, and God is just trying to push you along. He's just shaking up the ground around you. Okay, so you guys be blessed. I'm gonna go run and get to my daughter. Have a blessed weekend. All right, take care. Bye bye.